Hello, thieves. How you doing? You're watching the Jacob Mojapelo channel. Thank you for tuning in. And today I am in quite well. When I think about what I'm about to say in this video, I'm in quite sort of a somber kind of and a firm mood as well. Yes, I'm live and I'm kicking, but I'm gonna be very straightforward in this video. And but I just want you to remember as well. Remember to subscribe and share the videos. Okay. They're all there, out for people to see and for people to be encouraged, but also for people to gain better understanding of certain things going on. Now, what I'm about to talk about today, I think is very important. Um, my aim is not necessarily to talk about political issues too much. It's mainly to talk about the word. That is the main aim for this channel. But I don't want to say I don't want to talk about political issues, but I try to avoid talking about political issues. But I want to address this issue as I think it's important, and it's not just a political issue, but it's an issue that should be at the heart of Christians to understand, primarily in the West, here in the West, where I live. We need to understand certain things that are going on with our government, and being democratic in the West, we can voice our opinion and definitely be able to hopefully support other Christians that are facing challenges. All right. What I'm going to talk about in this video is basically the West and ISIS and the West. When I think about it, it just sometimes I'm speechless. Sometimes I'm like, wow, it's so obvious. Sometimes I'm not really shocked because it's been happening for a long time. But sometimes, like, I'm not speechless necessarily out of shock, just speechless out of just a certain, I'll be honest with you, a grievance. But I don't let it depress me, by the way. But what I do know is that it's there, it's going on. And, I definitely believe possibly I definitely need to be praying more about it. And I have prayed about it. And, but what I want people out there to understand, primarily I want Christians to understand this, but not just Christians. Even if you're not a Christian, you can see this, and a lot of people out there should know. A lot of Christians don't know this, and you need to know this. ISIS and the West are in bed together. They're in bed together. They are in bed together. ISIS has been on our news, in our media, in the papers, and social media, and different type of mediums within media for a few years now. It's all come out of the Arab Spring, where these revolutions, by the way, that were stirred up by the West to overthrow Arab leaders, Arab regimes in the Middle East. And ISIS came out of that. ISIS was sort of they came out of that. But really, to be honest, I don't want to go so much in detail about where exactly ISIS began, because ISIS didn't just begin a few years ago. I actually believe ISIS began with Al Qaeda, and Al Qaeda began time ago, from the 80s, when the US funded Al Qaeda against Russia. But I believe ISIS is the modern evolution of Al Qaeda. Al Qaeda is not necessarily tech savvy in a sense. Al Qaeda, in terms of social media, they're not very good at social media. They did videos. You'd have videos of Bin Laden saying this. You had videos of stuff like that. But this ISIS is basically the next level. It's Al Qaeda 2.0. This is Al Qaeda 2.0. They are tech savvy. They are all over social media, YouTube. You know what I'm saying? They've been doing stuff that's been crazy, and they've been genocidal maniacs, going on rampages, and killing. And I'm gonna be people. Shia Muslims. They're killing other Muslims, Shia Muslims, but they've been displacing Christians, attacking Christians, slaughtering Christians, raping Christian women, and many other women, Yazidi women. So Christians in the Middle East are being persecuted right now, primarily by ISIS. And you know, the way the media tried to make it look at first was, oh, they just come out of nowhere. But if you want, you have to ask questions when something like this starts to happen. They've been all over the media. They've been so successful at what they're doing. But you have to understand, how can it just come out of nowhere? It can't have just come out of nowhere. These are the questions we have to ask. And for many years, people that are in alternative media have been expressing and have been saying that ISIS has been funded by the West. ISIS has been created by the West. But you know what people say, the reply of people, even Christians and even people in the media, you know, all these establishment stooges, what they say is, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're mad, you don't know what you're talking about. But recently, the US government had to release documents to Judicial Watch. Judicial Watch is an organization that campaigns for the release of documents, and basically they make the government speak. You know, this was the American government, not necessarily the British government, the American government. And documents have been released confirming that the West was supporting ISIS from its beginning. All that, look, ISIS is in bed with the West. The West has been supporting ISIS. ISIS would not be as successful as they are if it was not for the West's support. And what I want Christians to understand is all these leaders in the West, yeah, David Cameron, Tony Blair, yeah, who was the former leader of the United Kingdom, Brown, but he wasn't really involved as much, but especially Tony Blair and David Cameron, Obama, and a lot of other European leaders, yeah, they all claim to be Christians. The royal families claim to be of the church, and yet they are supporting this genocidal rampage that has been causing displacement of Christians, that has been causing the slaughter of Christians in the Middle East. You know, like in America, a lot of people, like, there's been debates, is Obama a Christian or not? We know in the book of John, I think in the first book of John, there's 4 books of John, but the last 3, the first one of them last 3 books of John in the Bible, I think John talked about, if a man does not even love his brother, how can he be one of us? How can he even be a Christian? How can he even be of the church? And yet we've got these leaders in the West that claim Christianity, claim to go to church, claim this and that, and yet they're supported a gang of vile people who are just going and killing people relentlessly. And we vote for these people, we put these people in power, and it's not just Barack Obama, where there's been debates on whether he's been a Christian. David Cameron has come on TV and said, I'm a Christian. This is a Christian nation. So what are we doing, and why have we supported these militants that have been persecuting Christians? Can you understand this? He stood along with the West, and he was one of the big trumpets, David Cameron, the big voices for going into Libya. We went into Libya to remove who? Gaddafi. Was Gaddafi a good guy? He probably wasn't the best guy. I know he was a dictator, yeah? But looking at the way the Middle East is right now, the way it's falling apart, I understand why he was vicious. Because he had to keep those guys on lock. The West knows what it's doing. It's time we wake up, people. Look at our governments, the little Hitlers, supporting the genocidal maniacs, ISIS, supporting the death of millions of thousands. This is not an unintended consequence, because they wanted ISIS to overthrow Assad, but they knew the cost it will cause to Syria, its people, the murders, the deaths that will come. You see, they sit in a foreign office, they sit in a State Department. It's easy for them from there to make decisions because they're far away. I want you Christians to understand that it is these people in the West that have been causing and have been supporting these genocidal maniacs. Now I know about Islam. I know Islamic nations are very in general brutal towards Christianity. They don't give Christianity a lot of freedom, okay? But Assad was helping the Christians. He was supporting the Christians. But now, he can't really protect the Christians because the West has been supporting this Islamic genocidal maniacs against Christianity, against Assad, against peace in the Middle East. And what Muslims need to wake up and realize is like, no, we don't want to fight no more. We want peace. We want peace. We ain't fighting no more. But you know what? A lot of Muslims, they just go crazy. When you watch videos of Anjem Chowdhury, and he's like, oh, Shias are not Muslims. And he uses that as an excuse to kill other Muslims. Now, I'm not going to get into the debate exactly of what is a Muslim or not, because I'm not a Muslim. I'm not really too bothered about that in per se. But peace. Do you not realize that you're just stooges being used to kill each other? I've just got to be real, I've got to be real. Because my brethren, fellow Christian brothers and sisters are being persecuted down there. And it's country after country after country. And I'll be honest with you, George Bush, Tony Blair, those people, even Barack Obama, even David Cameron, really, some of the stuff they've done, they should be prosecuted on the international war crime. Not maybe so much David Cameron, but definitely the first three, Obama, George Bush, and Blair. And it's not just them, but many other Western countries. And then, and then you got the Arab countries that support this, certain Arab countries, Turkey, Saudi Arabia. These are Western allies, by the way. So there's a hierarchy. So behind it, you have a drive from the West. And then under them is certain Arab countries, certain Arab puppet countries like Turkey, Saudi Arabia, so on. And then under them is the crazy gangs, ISIS. You see? There's a hierarchy. It's crazy. But anyway, I just need Christians to, not necessarily need you, but to just think and to wake up and to realize it's not all what it seems with our governments. Even if you're not Christian, but something, you have to just tell you this ain't right. This ain't right. And so we better know it. This is what the West keeps talking about debt. Do you know how many wars we caused in the Middle East? How many British men have gone and died in Iraq and Afghanistan? The money we've spent in Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, and then they want to tell you that the country's in debt. Well, you're spending billions of taxpayers' money on wars that are not needed. I'll be honest with you, when British soldiers went and died and I'll be coming to a close soon, people, went and died in all them war zones, yeah, I respect British soldiers, I respect their bravery, but it wasn't because Britain was being threatened. So they weren't really dying for Britain, in essence. They were dying for an oligarchy structure of elites that just want to cause havoc. It wasn't like Iraq was threatening Britain. This wasn't like when Hitler came to try and take over UK, when British soldiers died fighting the Luftwaffe. No, this is just going on wars that don't make sense, just to destabilize people's lives and to kill people. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that, and I hope you just keep an eye out. Don't be fooled by the mainstream media. Study, see, look beyond just the obvious, the surface case. And just remember, the West is in bed with ISIS. Thank you for tuning in, and just keep a lookout for the next video. And remember, subscribe and share.